Welcome back. We are still watching Morning Live as we keep you up to date and in the know with everything happening locally as well as abroad. And this is the part of the show where we get to bring you our question of the day as well as our trending topics. So a quick look now at what we'd like to get your thoughts on this morning.
Right, so the focus of the attention this morning in terms of being out and about is TVET colleges. And Sakina is at the TVET college out in Parktown North. So we're going to be finding out what's going on there. So let's just ask the question, with TVET colleges having a reputation as being for those matric students that underachieved in matric, what could be done to change that negative perception? So we're looking so forward to hearing from you. And it's a real perception, it really is. And I mean, when we are at a point where we need so many skills here in South Africa, these are the places that you go to. But why? Why is there a negative perception when you think of a TVET college?
Absolutely, and I mean, I think it's a beautiful alternative to university for a lot of people as well. And I'd actually love to see the conversations that Sakina is going to be bringing us this morning, because it's actually going to enlighten a lot of South Africans in terms of the opportunities that present themselves once you have this alternative available to you, and to see that it's not actually doom and gloom if you can't get into university and you have the alternative of TVET.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these skills are most important. So that's what's coming up on the show. Looking forward to it, and the question of the day. So please do send in voice notes and comment on the social media platforms. Let's look at some of your trending topics this morning. Quite an intense list, I have to tell you. So obviously Panyaza Lesufi, that one is that's pretty straightforward. We had the State of the Province address that was held yesterday with the Premier of Gauteng, Panyaza Lesufi, and there were a lot of interruptions. Unfortunately, it started off with not such nice pictures coming out of that legislature, because he was, I don't know, I think it was the EFF that were unhappy at the beginning
about having the beneficiaries of Nasispani program, which many people call Amabanyaza.
Exactly.
And they didn't want them to be there, and obviously a lot of then commotion coming out there. I mean, one of the videos I saw was just like
terrible.
Bottles flying everywhere. Whatever people could throw, they were throwing.
Indeed, and that's just, no, it's not nice. So that was what was happening. But let's not dwell too much only on that. But unfortunately, you can't avoid the fact that did happen. But there was a lot said in this State of the Province address, and we'll be unpacking that when we are joined with our guests a little bit later on. Dr. Dale McKinley and Reverend Derek Marco are going to be talking to us about both this one and the one that the Premier Alan Winde delivered. So they delivered them both yesterday. So it was a big news day yesterday, and we'll try and unpack those ones. So another one is, let's have a look there. Home Affairs. Yeah. So Home Affairs and SIU are very much so linked, but there are two stories that are doing the rounds about Home Affairs. So let me begin with the first thing, and then we'll move into the next Home Affairs, which is linked to SIU. So the Home Affairs Minister has called for stricter penalties against companies and individuals employing undocumented foreign nationals. It's a call that's been going on for a while, but he's now really getting harsh on this and saying, it's enough now. And the push comes against the backdrop of recent incidents where such practices were exposed amid ongoing concerns about the country's unemployment rate, particularly amongst the youth. And you'll see those unemployment figures coming out today as well. So I can also see that that's trending. So that's a big drive. Hire more South Africans, not undocumented, and we emphasize undocumented.
Yes, because I mean, if they
nationals.
documented and they have the necessary permits and paperwork, then they have a right to be here.
Indeed.
But also people saying, very ideal time for us to now push for this drive, because we know the elections are coming up.
That is always going to be the question that's on the back of South Africans' minds. But I mean, Motsoaledi has been very vocal about this. He really has, talking for harsher sanctions and emphasizing the need to employ South Africans as opposed to undocumented foreign nationals. So that's one story. Then the second story, which I think is really overpowering both of these as a trend, the SIU is now being given the big tick to go ahead and be investigate Home Affairs. And that's what the President has ordered. So he's basically said that the SIU is expected to launch a probe into allegations of serious maladministration in the affairs of the Department of Home Affairs as well as PRASA. I mean, remember what was going on at PRASA. It's just frightening, the amount of money that's been spent on PRASA, and you see what the rail systems look like. And people have benefited from all this investment, and the people of South Africa have not benefited, and that's the reality. So the President signed proclamations authorizing the corruption-busting unit to investigate the department and prosper. I'm reading that off of the website from the government. So that is a very big story. So finally, that's going to be investigated, but
and we'll see whether or not we'll get a report at the end of it all and what the report will say. Obviously, we'll keep you updated right here on Morning
Live. We always throw up our hands at the end of it and say, let's wait and see. Okay.
And then finally, the last topic we've got on our trends this morning is #Jerusalem.
Overnight, I mean, there's just been so much happening when it comes to what's happening in Israel and Palestine. And of course, Jerusalem is one that's trending now. I mean, there have been some terrible scenes that are coming out of Jerusalem with a lot of fighting that's currently happening. But there's also this, this is a big thing, and it's something that we're hearing at the ICJ at the moment as well. This one is saying the ICJ, along with 99% of the world, does not recognize your illegal occupation of the occupied Palestinian territories, including the Gaza Strip, the West Bank and East Jerusalem. The mass murder and ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people to steal their land must end. But, this is all
in response to that earlier tweet from the Prime Minister of Israel saying the Prime Minister's office, Israel does not recognize the legitimacy of the proceedings of the International Court in The Hague regarding the legality of the occupation, which are an effort designed to infringe on Israel's right to defend itself against existential, I can't see that.
Existential threats.
Yes,
so
I can't see that far.
Don't worry, I've trained
How
these
do you
eyes
have better eyesight than
you
me?
have no idea. We have been trained to read these tweets in this tiny font. So but that's the thing, and that's what we're seeing with what the International Criminal Court are doing at the moment. They're calling on Israel to hand back that occupied land, including Jerusalem. So, and a lot of fighting has come out there. We've seen the burning of Jewish flags there, Israeli flags. It is, it's a lot. It's a very volatile situation.